Hello, my name is Lucra, a Liberian. Let's quickly look at the emerging 2019 novel coronavirus that is rapidly spreading across the world. Based on the growing number of cases out of China, where the virus was discovered, the WHO on January 30, 2020 announced the public health emergencies of international concern by declaring the China-Wuhan Coronavirus outbreak as a global emergency. In December 2019, there were a cluster of pneumonia cases in China. Investigation found that it was caused by a previously unknown virus, now named 2019 novel coronavirus. Let's quickly discuss what's currently known about the virus. Let's keep in mind that this is a new virus. What's done about the virus now may change in the future. Coronaviruses are a large group of viruses. They consist of a core of genetic materials surrounded by an envelope with protein spikes. This gives it the appearance of a crown. Crown in Latin is called corona. That is how these viruses get their name. There are different types of coronaviruses that cause a number of human diseases, such as respiratory and sometimes gastrointestinal disease. The respiratory diseases can range from common cold to pneumonia, and in most people, the symptoms tend to be mild. However, there are some types of coronaviruses that can cause severe disease. These include the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus in China in 2003 and the Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus, the MERS, that was first identified in Saudi Arabia in 2012. The 2019 novel coronavirus was first identified in China. It initially occurred in a group of people with pneumonia who have been associated with seafood market in the city of Wuhan. The disease has since spread from those who were sick to others, including family members and healthcare staff. There are hundreds of cases at present, as the virus has spread within China and also a number of other countries. So where did the virus actually come from? It is known that coronaviruses circulate in a range of animals. Sometimes these viruses can make a jump from animals to humans. This is called a spillover and can be due to a range of factors such as mutations in the virus or increased contact between humans and animals. For example, the Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus is known to be transmitted from camels, and the SARS-CoV virus from civet cats. The animal reservoir of the 2019 novel coronavirus is not known yet. How is it transmitted? The exact dynamics of how the virus is transmitted is yet to be determined. In general, respiratory viruses are usually transmitted through droplets created when an infected person coughs or sneezes, or through something that has been contaminated with the virus. So how does the disease present? What are the symptoms? Well, from what is known so far, there can be a number of symptoms ranging from mild to severe. There can be fever and respiratory symptoms such as coughing, shortness of breath. In most severe cases, there has been pneumonia, kidney failure, and to a terrible extent, death. The mortality is not known yet. How can we tell whether someone is infected? That is the diagnosis. The infection can be diagnosed by a test called polymerase chain reaction, the PCR. This test actually identifies the virus based on its genetic fingerprint. So, what are some of the treatments so far? There is currently no specific medication for the virus, and the treatment is just a supportive care. There is currently no specific vaccine to protect against the virus. Reports suggest that it is going to take about 1 year to come up with a vaccine against the virus. So how do we prevent, or how is it prevented? How do we prevent the transmission of the virus? This new virus currently has a limited geographic spread. However, there are a number of standard hygiene practices that have been recommended by WHO to protect against infection and further spread. These include washing hands, regularly covering your mouth and nose after coughing and sneezing, avoiding close contact with those who are unwell. The appropriate use of masks and personal protective equipment, that is the PPE, especially in a healthcare setting. Actions that can be taken to prevent infections from animal sources include avoiding unnecessary contact with animals, washing hands after contact with animals or animals' products, and ensuring that animal products are cooked thoroughly before they are consumed. So what does this mean for countries with challenged healthcare delivery systems? Some countries in Africa should use the time to build strong surveillance for the prevention of the virus from entering their respective countries. Already, Ethiopia, Botswana, and African countries reporting suspected cases. All African countries that were hit by the Ebola virus disease should stand up for their people and territories. That's a quick look at this emerging infectious disease, the 2019 novel coronavirus. Given that this outbreak is evolving rapidly, what's known about this? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for new development. Thank you.